What's good? Welcome back to We Brand You's episode this week, how to market your clothing brand in 2022 and beyond. This week's topic is about competition. Now, I sat down with a friend the other day and she said, look, Warren, I'm thinking about starting a clothing brand, okay? But everyone is selling that nowadays, okay? And my response to her was, look, Sainsbury's isn't worried about what Tesco's is selling. Walmart isn't worried about what Target is selling. Go ahead and start your business right now, okay? And I say that to say this, there are tons of thousands of businesses selling similar products on Instagram and still making £100,000 per month and beyond, okay? So don't be discouraged. People will buy what they want to buy and we can all sell the same thing and still make money, okay? Don't worry about competition or none of that, right? And I'm going to give you 6 things to focus on that are important that I want you to focus on instead of competition. Don't worry about what your competition is doing. Focus on what is important, and these 6 things are important. Okay, before I get into the 6 things, I want to tell you real quick about our clothing brand masterclass. It's a absolute banger of a course. It's called How to Build Your Clothing Brand from Scratch to 6 Figures, okay? We all know the clothing industry is one of the most lucrative and rewarding industries in existence, but with this clothing brand, you'll be able to make 6 figures within months, okay? If not weeks of starting your clothing brand business, okay? And this guide will show you how to do that from start to finish. It's a 1-hour course. We'll cover everything from finding an idea for your brand to building a website that converts visitors into customers, okay? We'll also go over how to find suppliers and manufacturers who are willing to work with small businesses like yours. And by the end of this course, you'll have all of the tools necessary for success. It's the first thing we give to all of our clients to watch before working with them, and they all absolutely love it, and they all rave and rant and tell their friends about it. And that's how we're able to build a 100% coaching client business called We Brand You, okay? So let's jump back into the topics of focusing what's important in building and marketing your clothing brand. There's 6 tips to remember. Instead of focusing on your competition, these are the 6 things. So the first thing is target audience, okay? You must know, and it is crucial that you know who you're targeting, okay? It's no longer enough to say, my product is for everyone. I want everyone to enjoy it. It's universal. That is the fastest way to fail. All of the biggest players in the game know their target audience, okay? So for example, if I am selling truck gear, okay, I want to appeal to truck drivers only. I want to create comfortable clothing that truck drivers can wear at night to make them feel comfortable and make them feel less laborious and boring and tired. Make them feel at home, make them feel comfortable and enjoy their shift whilst they're driving up and down the country delivering parcels, okay? That is a target audience. In that little speech that I just said, that spiel, you heard men, you heard truck drivers, you heard driving, you heard tired, you heard laborious. So all of my marketing materials later will be pictures of trucks, men yawning at the steering wheel and stuff like that. When you know your target audience and you pick a target audience, you can then post things and have marketing materials that when your target audience immediately sees, i.e. a trucker, he's going to resonate. He's going to connect with the image of him yawning, right? This is why you don't want to be for everyone, because a 12-year-old or a 16-year-old girl is different and wants different things in life that a 44-year-old truck driver wants, okay? So there's no point in trying to appeal to both. It's like our mum or my grandma used to say, right? If you try to appeal to everyone, you end up appealing to no one. If you try to satisfy everyone, you end up satisfying no one, especially not yourself. So you want to pick one audience and go for that audience, okay? And now, if you get other people outside of that target market, like, I don't know, a music producer might come and buy a trucking gear for his dad, who is a truck driver, or a ballet instructor might buy the trucking gear, and she's not my target audience, but she still bought it for whatever reason. Maybe her husband, is a truck driver, or uncle, and she's buying that as a present. Or maybe she used to be a truck driver and it reminds her of her trucking days. Who knows? We don't care. But we know our target audience is what it is. We're going to stick to that, and anyone else or any other customers outside, that is going to be a bonus. Make sense? Cool. So focusing on your target audience is number 1, and it's super important, okay? Number 2 is product, okay? Now, when you're selling t-shirts and clothing, chances are your competitors are selling the same thing, right? So how do you stand out? You need to have something that stands out. But this is something that I didn't really understand back in the day, right? And is how you get a product to stand out. But after mentoring, getting coaching and learning and just hammering this point and really researching this, I spent months and years researching how to stand out in the market. And it all comes down to this, your story. Okay, that is the one thing that someone else hasn't got over you, and that's your story. There's no two people with the same story, the backstory. Okay, for example, I've got two clients. One has cerebral palsy. Okay, they both got clothing brands. They both market a clothing brand. They both sell black t-shirts. Their brands look very, very similar, right? But the difference is both of their backstories. Now listen to one story. One backstory, one guy, I won't name his name, I'll call him Jack. Jack has a backstory of he has a disability, okay? He was given months to live as a baby. He survived, okay? He created a clothing brand and he wants to inspire people with disabilities to show them and show the world that no matter what holds you back and what disabilities you face in life, you can still achieve your dreams and go for what you want. Okay, that's one story. Feel how powerful and compelling that is. Okay, it's moving. Okay, it's filled with emotion. And then you got another client, let's say his name is Bob. Okay, Jack's got a disability, and Bob is from the streets. He was arrested as a kid a lot. Okay, he got into a lot of trouble. Okay, he came from a broken home, and he went to jail, and he came out, and he said, I want to turn my life around, and I want to start a clothing brand for people that are on or going down one way, and inspire them that you can always turn around and make the adjustments needed. Okay, that's two different stories. Two complete different stories, two different messages, two different audiences, okay? And that's the difference between their products. And now, when they lead and they start selling their product, they don't need to say, I've got this black t-shirt, it comes in 7 different colors and loads of different sizes. No customer is moved by that. Now I get them to lead with, look, their story. I'm disability, I'm trying to change the world. I want to inspire people to chase their dreams. And now you really catch people's attention and you appeal to their softer side, okay? I'm not saying you're starting a charity and trying to get people to feel sorry for you, but you're leading with your story, and facts tell, but emotions sell. Facts tell, but emotions sell, okay? It's much more moving to lead with emotion. So that is how you create a product that stands out from your competition, even though it kind of looks and feels like you have the same kind of product. All right. So on to number three, in terms of focusing what's important and staying away from your competition, is content marketing. Okay. Now there's a lot of confusion when it comes to content marketing, and I've been there, but it boils down to one thing. Break down content marketing. Content is a piece of value, something that's of value. So it can be a piece of entertainment, piece of information, or a piece of education, okay, or inspiration, or whatever it may be. Okay, so you're simply putting out content like a video or blog post in order to market to your target audience, okay? Breakdown again. Okay, so we're simply putting a piece of content into the market to get someone to raise their hand and say, hey, I'm interested in what you're saying. Please tell me more. For example, this video and podcast is a piece of content. So I'm putting it into the market in order to get you, that's the listener, to raise your hand. And basically by you listening to this, you're raising your hand and saying, hey, look, I'm marketing my clothing brand. I'd like more information. I want to hear what you got to say. And then you might like this post, you might comment, and then I'll respond back and I'll build a relationship. We'll build a nice relationship with each other. We'll get to know each other. I'll get to know what you're trying to achieve. And then if I feel like I can help you, I'll offer my services. Okay? And now that is content marketing successfully done. Okay? So for example, in your case, if you're marketing a clothing brand, if we go back to the trucking situation, you can post pictures of tired truckers, truckers that feel itchy in their cabin while they're driving, ones that are drinking coffee, that would rather be at home, relaxing, comfortable. You'll post things like this and tips on tricks on how to stay awake, in terms of truck or whatever the truck industry has, whatever pains and problems they have. You're going to create content and solution pieces to those content. But at the bottom of every piece of content, you're going to say, come and shop with us now and get your 20% off of your trucking wear and feel right at home when you're driving those late nights or whatever. Okay, so you're going to link back. So it's like a PS. You're creating this content that can help them. And then as a PS in the bottom, you're simply saying, come and shop with us. And maybe 9 8 out of people, 10 out of people are just going to enjoy the content and move on. But those 2 out of that 10 are going to come and shop and check your stuff out. And hopefully you've got good products that they want to buy. Okay, so it's a clever way of marketing to people through content, through helping them, and then sliding your product in. It works like a charm. Okay, it's the modern way in 2022 of marketing your clothing brand. But I'll create a whole different video alone on that. Okay, number 4 is understanding how Instagram works and using it to your advantage. Now, this is a simple one. We all know you can go on Insta. Sometimes I've been guilty of it in the past. You log into Instagram, you spend half an hour scrolling, and then you realize, I can't even remember what I picked up my phone to do, and I've ended up in Instagram. Don't be like that. You need to set out clear times and activities of what you're going to do. Log in and then log out. Post your stuff, log in and log out. Okay, that is how you use it as a business tool and not as a social tool and get locked in and waste all of your time. Okay, so this is what we're doing. We're focusing on what's important. Number 5 in terms of focusing on what's important is consistency. Now, this is a big one, but I won't spend too long on it, but it's a massive one, okay? Those that are consistent are the ones that succeed. It's not about skill. It's not about talent. It's never about those things. It's about consistency. And the way I like to describe consistency is everyone gets their shot in life, okay? Except most people leave the game before it's their turn. Think of a basketball game, all right? Everyone's got a ball in life, bouncing a ball, and everyone gets a shot. Everyone gets to go up to the rim or wherever it is when you shoot, the key or court or whatever it's called, right? And you get your shot. But most people get so bored of bouncing a ball, waiting their turn, that they just throw their ball to the side, they walk off the court, they pick up their bag, they go to the locker, they jump in their car and they drive home. Okay? That's what most people do in the game of life. Okay? And then you've still got a section of people that ain't even on the court, right? They're just sitting in the stands watching. They're sitting in the audience watching a bunch of people bounce around their balls. And those are the worst people. Those are just spectators of life. They're not even on the court. Like, we got to give credit to at least the people that are on the court bouncing the ball, right? But the problem is when you're on the court and you're in the game, which is the business game, the marketing your clothing brand and building a clothing brand or entrepreneur game, you're bouncing the ball and guess what? It's not going to be your turn. For ages, it's not going to be your turn. It might be your turn straight away, but for the most part, you're going to be standing around bouncing this ball and you're going to get bored, you're going to get tired, you're going to get hungry. All of these things are going to creep in your head, right? And you're going to throw your ball down. But those that keep bouncing their ball, stick around, they get to go up to their net, okay? They get to go up to the net, shoot their shot, and bam, it goes in. They win. Okay, they get their shot. So you have to just make sure that you stick around long enough in the game, okay, through consistent effort, daily showing up, keep bouncing your ball until you get your shot, okay? And when you get your shot, make sure you take it, okay? So that's number 5. Number 6 is simply staying positive and being patient. And I don't mean to sound hokey, but staying positive works only because when you stay positive, you're constantly looking for solutions. When you stay negative, you're constantly looking for, reasons why things don't work. Okay, you're looking at the problem, okay? You never want to look at the problem. You never want to focus on the problem. You always want to focus on the solution. Like, for example, I've got a client who had recently had their product removed from Shopify, but because they have such a can-do attitude, they kept trying, and they end up getting it back and sorting out the dispute. Whereas if they had a negative attitude and they kept trying, they probably would have only tried twice and then given up. But when you have a positive attitude and you're patient, you can keep trying 10, 20, 30 times. You keep trying more than the average person, which ends up getting you results. And then it ends up working out for you. So you need to stay positive and be patient. The best way to stay positive is simply just take in a lot of positivity, okay? It's like a cup of water, right? If it's muddy and cloudy, you can't see through it. But if you pour clear water into it long enough, eventually all of the dirt and the muddy water comes out and what's left is just clear water. You pour good stuff into your brain like books, read autobiography books about business, personal development books, Jim Rohn books, Jack Canfield books, Les Brown, watch YouTube, positive videos, watch other personal success stories of other people that have succeeded, follow the right people on Instagram, other business owners, positive people. If you hang around positive enough, you end up becoming positive. Okay, so just take it all in and just be patient, okay? And that's it. That's it, really. That's the 6 things to focus on in terms of what's important, and to stop focusing on your competition, man. Your competition it's okay. Like, I've learned to, my mentor once told me many years that competition is a good thing, and what it does is it creates a market, and it tells you that there's a demand for the market, okay? There's nothing worse than you got a good product idea, you go online and no one's doing it. It means maybe no one's thought of it, but it usually means that maybe someone has thought of it, but no one wants it. Okay, so you don't want that to happen. You don't want to be the guinea pig and be the first person to sell anything, unless sometimes you're Bill Gates, sometimes you're Apple, sometimes you're one of these guys, and you do. And if your product works and you're able to sell it good enough, and there's a demand for it, then you become the billionaire. Okay, if you're first, but if you're second, third, fourth, fifth, or 100th, 200th in line, and you start selling you're the 200th person to start selling that product, you usually become a millionaire anyway. So a billionaire or millionaire, all right, a billion's good, but a million's great still. No one's gonna look down on a million, couple million a year or whatever. So don't be afraid. It's not always about being first. Sometimes it's okay to be, somewhere else in the pecking order, because there's enough money to be made for all of us. So I'm going to end it here. Like I said, if you got value from this video and this piece of content, give this video a like, a subscribe, drop a comment below. Let me know which one of those, which one of those 6 things you got value from, and which one of the 6 things that you feel that you aren't doing. Do you not know your target audience? Maybe you don't know, how your product stands out in your messaging. Maybe you don't know how to create content. Is it that you don't quite understand how Instagram works and whether you're using it to your advantage? Maybe it's number 5 in your consistency. You're lacking in consistency. Or maybe it's staying positive and being patient. You struggle with that. Drop a comment below and let me know what you're struggling with. I want to get to know you. I want to build a relationship with you. Honestly, I do, as I'm all about networking and helping others. Okay, I believe the best way for me to have a good life is to help many others have a good life as well. I'm all about giving and giving back. Okay, so on that note, thank you for listening. We are, how many minutes are into this, are we? We're a good few minutes in, and if you're still here listening, I appreciate your time. I appreciate you. Take care.